Hey everybody, are we good on audio? Can you hear me? Let me know in chat. You should also see my screen. It should be Jinja's documentation on one side and a terminal on the other. How are we doing, everybody? Anybody in chat confirm they can hear me? If you can't hear me, that would also be a good thing to point out, but you wouldn't be able to hear me say that. So I'll just post a message in chat to find out that way. All right. So the plan for today is to do a thing I haven't done before. Can't hear me. Huh. It's showing that my audio's coming through. Let's see, that's coming from there. Road podcast. Okay, how about that? Can you hear my voice now? Let me know in chat. Ideally, Ken will let me know in Beam because that's going to be a little bit faster of a loop back. All that time I've been talking, you don't know what I'm saying. That's horrible. I'm so sorry about that. How about now? We have audio coming through. We have voice coming through. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? Say something fast. Is it still no audio? Still no audio? Yeah, music stopped. Huh. Okay. You know what's okay, Benjamin says he can hear me now. All right. You know what's awesome is just how inconsistent OBS is from one week to the next. Like, I didn't change anything from last 2 weeks ago, And it's doing this again. Okay, so let me try getting the music back, because the music really helps, I think. So let's try getting the music back. Turn it way down. Okay, so now, can you hear me and some music? A little bit of music, way in the background, me nice and loud. We good? Yeah, Benjamin, chat has a bit of a delay on YouTube. YouTube, you've got like 5 to 10 seconds of delay. Same for Twitch. Beam has about a 1 or 2 second delay. So if you want to be a little bit faster in interaction with me, you'll want to go over to beam.pro. But YouTube is fine. I kind of keep an eye out of the corner of my eye. So let me go back over what I'm going to do, since now you can hear me. So, yeah, it's just water, but it's just water. But yeah, you'll get to hear me sip it. Water. All right, so there's a project that I really love, and I like to use it. It's called Pelican. Pelican is a static site generator. So the idea is that you use Pelican to generate a static website. And a static website is one that's made out of just HTML, CSS, JavaScript. There's no dynamic component. You don't have like Rails or Django or WordPress or anything like that running behind it. You just have HTML pages. So that's great, because that means that you can publish stuff on a super small Heroku dyno. You can put stuff up on S3, and you can you can put stuff in places that are cheap or free to host websites, instead of having to have them on someplace that's more expensive. And you don't have to keep anything running. There's no sorts of, like, you're not going to get hacked through a static HTML page, right? Like, nobody can get into your database because there's no database. So Pelican's really cool. But I want to kind of build my own. And I don't think it'll be that hard to do. I think it'll be something that's simple enough to do. So I'm going to give it a try. And we'll see how this goes. So one thing I'm going to borrow, two things rather, I'm going to borrow from Pelican is I'm going to borrow the fact that they use Markdown to do the rendering, and that they use Jinja for the templates. As much as I love Django's templating engine, it's not the easiest thing to pull in. Jinja's is pretty simple to use, and it's pretty similar. So that's the idea. So shall we get started? Let's see if we can do this. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, I've got my virtual environment set up. I'm going to install a couple of libraries. So I'll pip install Jinja 2, and I'll pip install, let's see if I can do Mikasa. I don't know if I have everything that I need for that. Is it not Mikasa? I could have the... Oh, it's Misaka, right? Is that it? Yeah, Misaka. Pip install Misaka. Not Mikasa. All right, and Misaka, the only reason I'm using that as opposed to like markdown.py is just that it's a little bit faster of a parser. Not that really matters, but I just kind of like using slightly faster parsers. All right, so the first thing I think I need to do is, like I said, I want to have a directory full of blog posts, and I want it to be able to parse those blog posts and create titles or whatever from it. Sorry, not titles, pages. So I'm going to make a directory here called content. And inside content, I'm going to do like a hello world.md. I'm going to do like a hello world file. So now something that Pelican does is Pelican actually uses YAML to parse its markdown files. So it'll have like, title is hello world. Sorry, let me turn pencil off. And like date is, 2016-11-4, and like category would be general. So you do something like that, and then you would do your blog post. So, you know, hello everyone, so happy to be here. This is a great new blog engine. And that would be your file. And so what it would do is it would read this YAML bit up here at the top, and then it would use that to generate the title of the file, the date that it's published, the category, stuff like that. And then it would use this bottom part, parse that with Markdown, and use that to solve the actual blog post. So I don't want to quite get to that point yet. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have the title come out of here, and I'll figure out the rest of this as we go. Okay, so we're just going to do hello world. We're not going to worry about a category. We're not going to worry about a date. We're not going to worry about anything like that. The date is the date that the file was published. So Justin has asked, what is YAML? So YAML is kind of like JSON, but it's a little bit more straightforward maybe than what you would think of than what JSON is. YAML actually stands for YAML ain't markup language, which is just so weird. You gotta love those backronym kind of things. So one of the things that's kind of cool about YAML is like you can do stuff like this, where like here's a sequence, it's a list of things, but then you can also do like key value pairs, and then you can combine those, and you can do like, you know, here's the key American, and then it has these 3 values in it as a list kind of thing, right? So YAML has a lot of really cool and really neat stuff, but it's not necessarily a thing that I want to worry about for right now. So maybe we'll get to YAML later. Maybe we'll use this like PyYAML or something like that later on to bring that stuff in. But for now, I just want to handle grabbing all these files and producing stuff. Okay, so there's my basic content file. And so now let's do a file that handles the parsing. So I'll just call this like generate.html. And inside here, I want to look in the content directory. I want to grab all the files that are in the content directory, and I want to parse each of them as Markdown and save that to somewhere, right? Okay, so I'm going to need to import OS because I need to look at a directory. And I'm going to import Misaka. Actually, I want to do from Misaka. What is it? I always forget the documentation. Oh, no, it's just import Misaka. No, I'll do that one. From Misaka, import Markdown HTML renderer. I'm not sure if that's actually a better way to do it or not. I think I'm just going to do this top one. That's easier. All right. Import Misaka. I'm not going to do the as-im. I don't like doing that, so whatever. All right, Justin, we will see you later. Have a good day of working. All right, so let's do a thing here that get all posts. Hold on. I called that generate.html. How many of y'all noticed that? Because I didn't. All right, generate.py. And yeah, I know that line's wrong there. Okay, so I want to go and find all the files that are in that directory. So let's actually do some config up here, and we'll say content dir is equal to os.path. Let's see. Base dir equals os dot Let's see. I want to find the current directory. Get CWD would be get current working directory. Return a string representing the current working directory. Okay. So get CWD. And then the content directory is going to be basedir plus content. Because that was what I called it. All right. And let's open this up just so we can see what's going on in here. Okay, so I've got the content directory and I've got the generate thing. So I want to look at all the files that are inside of that directory. So I know there's a like lister. File names are the entries in the directory given by path. Arbitrary order, string or bytes. I don't think I need scandir because scandir gives me this like dir entry thing and I'll do it with scandir. That's fine. So let's try that. So I'm gonna paste that in here. And so we're gonna look through each of the things that's in scandir. And I want all of these conditions to be true. So I want the entry name to not start with dot. Entry.name. Actually, what do I have on an entry here? Let's look that up real quick. Dir entry. So these are the things that are in there. So we have a name, we have a path. Is file. I don't get an extension. All right. Name dot ends with dot md and entry dot is file. All right. So if all those things are true, then we'll print the entry name. Sure, that's fine for now. So if name is equal to main, then get all posts. All right. So Python generate.py. Oh, it needs to take a path. Haha. Content dir. Okay, and we get one file back, which is hello world. So, cool. That's the one file that I wanted, right? And let's test this. I'm gonna touch content don't show me.txt. Okay. And now if I run the generate.py again, I should still only get hello world. Cool. So there we go. I've got a basic thing. Matthew Morris asked, is this going to be like a Wix or Squarespace sort of thing? I suppose it could be eventually, sure. The idea, though, is I'm just kind of playing around with how to build one of these things, kind of walking through the steps that I think it takes. I haven't built one of these before, so I don't know exactly how this goes. But you could take this, expand it, and create something similar to Wix or Squarespace, where you are storing data somewhere and then using that to generate flat files. At that point, though, I'd probably just use like Django to build that. But yeah, this is closer to like Jekyll or Hyde or Pelican or something like that. Okay, so that finds all the files. So cool. So let's make a new like def main. And so we'll do posts equals get all posts. And what I'm going to do here, let's see, redraw. That looks horrible. Actually, I'm just going to Get back in there. There we go. All right, Vim, you were being weird. All right, so I want to go through all these files, and I will yield entry. Let's see, what was it that it was doing here? It was doing entry.name, so I'll yield entry.name. So that gives me a generator of all of these things, and a generator, if you're not certain what a generator is like a list, but it's not all in memory, and it just sends back like one thing at a time. So the nice thing about that is, like, if there are hundreds of files in here, that's cool because it'll just parse and it'll give me one at a time. It won't go through all of them. So handy. So let's have a new method here that's just like def generate HTML, and we'll do if os.exists, path.exists, not pathlib. There we go. os.path.exists. Okay. If os.path.exists, so let's have a new thing up here, which is output dir, and I'll combine base dir with output. So if output dir exists, let's do if not, because then I want to make the directory. So mkdir, I think, is the thing. Yep. Then we want to do os.mkdir output dir. All right, so just making sure that that file exists. So if that file exists, then actually here I want to do files. For file in files, content equals masaka.html open file. That should work for that. Let's just do a print content real quick to make sure that that works. So then here we'll do generate HTML posts. Okay. That may not be consuming it because it's just doing that. So, okay. Let's do generate HTML, get all posts. How weird. Oh, haha. Main. There we go. Alright, the great thing when you don't pay attention to what's happening inside your main. Alright, cool. No such file or directory, helloworld.md. And that's right, because it's looking for the file inside of the current directory. It's not looking for it inside the content directory. So, got the generator object right there. Got the hello world.html there, but then it fails to do this part. So that's fine. That's cool. So here I'll do os.path.join content dir file. All right. If I run this again, has no attribute encode. Oh, I probably have to read it. So let's just do this. So file content equals open. Nope. With open os.path.join content dir file as f.read. All right. Cool. So there's the HTML that gives that came from the blog post. So all right. And Bhavia route. Yeah, I know some people are gonna know what generators are. Some people aren't gonna know what generators are. So just to be, equal for everybody, I'll be explaining all sorts of stuff. All right. So right now, the way this is working is we've got get all posts, which goes and looks and finds all of our files inside the directory, and then generate HTML, make sure that the directory exists, and if it doesn't, then it goes and looks through all the files and generates the HTML for each one of them. So I kind of feel like I should move this stuff to its own directory or its own function. So I'm actually going to bring that down here, because that should run before we generate any HTML. Generate HTML should just handle generating the HTML. So then I want to do inside of there open os.path.join. Actually, let's see. We need to handle the file name first. Okay. Undo. Okay. So I want to handle that file name. And let's see, what am I looking for? os.path.split extension. There we go. Okay. So new file name equals os.path.split file, which we know is the file name. And I want the first item of that plus .html. And then I'm going to do open os.path.join output dir new file name. And I'm going to open that up for writing. And then I'm going to write the content to it. And let's get rid of that underscore. All right, so now let's see if that works. So if I look in my output directory, it's currently blank. So I'll run the generate.py. And now if I look in the output directory, there's a .html. So cool. I got part of it. And I don't need split. I need split ext. Yeah, split ext. That's what I get for not using proper names there. All right, and now if I look in output, I have hello world.html. So cool. Alrighty. So I've got the file name. I got all that stuff. So now if I was to go into output and do the HTTP server for that directory and look at that, then I've got my hello world.html. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty nice to have. So, and there it comes out as like hello world, blah, 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 right? All right, so that's pretty cool. Got a basic thing there. So my next step would be to bring like a theme into this, right? Some sort of HTML. Or it's not HTML, some sort of like design. So, I think what I want to do now is I want to add a new thing here. Theme directory equals os.path.join baster and theme. And that's going to be where I'm going to hold on to whatever the theme is. So, let's think about themes. So I'm going to use Jinja 2, and I think my basic idea is going to be that we can have templates that have blocks and all that kind of thing, and we're going to send content through as like an argument to the template. So, yeah, let's start with that. So in a Clasher YT, I'm sorry that you've had a problem with Java at Treehouse, but I know there's some updates coming, so just give it a try again here in a little while, and you know, give us feedback. We can't make anything better without knowing what is wrong. Okay, so let's start with a basic theme. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab Get Bootstrap, because Bootstrap is cheap and easy. I'm just going to use one of their examples. So basic template, that'll work fine for me. And let's make a new directory here called theme. And then inside theme, I'm going to edit post.html. Well, I'm going to do layout.html. And then I will do a post.html, and post.html will be the one that gets used for everything else. So let's grab the CSS and the theme to use right here. And then grab the JavaScript, which I don't really need the JavaScript, but I'll get it anyway, just to be complete. And we'll use that here. All right. So there's the layout.html, and I'll put the title there, and I'll do a block title up there. So eventually I want to parse this so that there's a title that comes out. But for right now, I'm not going to worry about that too much. And instead of that hello world, we'll do a div class equals container. And then inside here, we'll just do content. All right, so nothing too fancy in this file. So, you know, I've got room to grow. All right, so then I want to edit theme post.html, and this is going to extend layout.html. And I'm not going to actually do anything else with it. I'm just going to leave it alone like that. Okay, cool. So, for my theme, I want to do the generate HTML. Before I do the generate HTML, though, like I need to generate it, but then I need to parse that into my markdown, and I need to then write that into the new file. So let's see about how we pull in our Jinja stuff. Because, yeah. All right. So let's do from Jinja to import environment, which I misspelled horribly. Environment and package loader. There we go. And then we'll make a new thing here. env equals environment. Loader equals package loader. And I don't really have a name for this one yet, so I'm just going to call this Treehouse. And templates. What is the templates here? Looks up templates in the templates folder of your application. Okay, so we're not going to call that template. We're going to call that... okay. We're going to put in themeder. Okay, so I want to just print out env, because I don't know what that is, really. No module named Jinja 2. Did I not install Jinja 2? No module named Treehouse. That's true. This is not named Treehouse. So let's change this instead of Treehouse. Let's change this to static site generator. And let's touch init.py. Okay. That's a little weird. All right, I'm just going to do it like this because I don't care about doing all that. Okay. So from Jinja 2, I'm just going to import template. All right. So that's that. And then let's say that post template equals with open os.path.join themeder and post.html as f post template equals template f.read. Okay. Cool. So that gives me the basics there. That pulls in a template. And then I want to handle adding the context to something. I don't need a loader. I just need to render it. Where do I render? Ah, there we go. So we passed the context to it like that. Okay, cool. So now I've got my post template. So I should be able to take this and I want to write post template render content equals content. Undefined named env. Oh yeah, I don't have env anymore. All right, so now Let's try this generate again. No loader for this environment specified. Well, that's true. You said I didn't have to. What's up? What's up, Jinja? Your doc's not correct? Okay. Okay. Okay, so it uses a central object called the template environment. Instances of this class are used to store the configuration and global objects, used to load templates, blah, blah, blah. Most applications will create one environment object on application initialization and use that to load templates. What if I don't want to do it that way, though? What if I just want... What if I just want to... Like, I don't want an environment. I just want to pull in the local stuff. Huh? What about that, Jinja? Undefined types, context, loaders. This is more stuff than I want to deal with. Okay. Let's just try to figure out this stuff first. Okay. So, pass the joined template path to get template method. Yeah, if I have the environment set up, Lewis. Right now, though, the loader thing isn't working. So, that's complaining. So, I'll try running that again, though. Let's see. From Jinja2, import environment and package loader. And then there'd be a new thing here where we do like env equals environment loader equals package loader. And I'm just going to do dot and just see what it does there. And then I'll do theme. Okay, so then down here, I should conceivably be able to do like template equals env.get template. And that should just be able to do post.html, right? Let's comment this out. And let's just do print template. Let's just see if that works. Yeah, I know that's a sign but never used. Whatever. No module named dot, which is true. There's not a module named dot. What if we just don't give it a module name? Empty module name. Okay. So static site generator All right, let's look up. Do I have Jinja 2 installed here? I do. Awesome. So let's look up Jinja. Let's look up package loader. Load templates from Python eggs or packages. It's constructed with the name of the Python package and the path to the templates in that package. If the package path is not given, templates is assumed. Package path. Okay, that's the second one there. Per default, the template is that. Okay, I don't want to do a package loader, though. File system loader. There we go. Okay, so that loads the templates from the file system. Loader can find templates and folders on the file system as the preferred way to load them. All right, cool. So I'll do file system loader, and then the search path, which is the theme directory. Aha, okay, cool. So, instead of package loader, file system loader. Loader equals file system loader themeder. Okay, so that gives me the environment, and that should find the post.html. Okay, so cool, there's my template. All right, awesome. So now I should be able to do template.render content equals that, and I'm gonna delete the output directory just so that we can see that everything comes in. So generate.py output, okay, and then open output hello world.html in Safari, and check that out. That looks like a Bootstrap template. If I inspect, then I should see like the Bootstrap stuff. Yeah, there's the Bootstrap stuff. All right, cool. So we have a thing that loads and generates templates. So I'm actually going to go ahead and bring this into Git real quick. Get rid of that. Git ignore venv, ignore pycache if it pops up, and ignore, actually doesn't need to ignore output, because you'd want to have output because you'd want to be able to deploy the output. Okay, so, and then quit that one. All right, so git add dot -m basic blog parsing and theme. All right, cool. So let's look at this and see if there's some things to clean up and some stuff to kind of rebuild. Thank you for the nice words there, Navid. Hopefully I got your name right. If I didn't, tell me how to pronounce it, and I will happily do my best on that. Okay, so right now we've got we've got everything being loaded and parsed. We don't have it handling like the title of a post to put it up into the title tag or anything like that. So let's add a few new things here. Let's do like site title is going to be like hello Treehouse. Sure. And let's make a new function here. Oh, I don't need this anymore. Yeah. And let's say like generate context. Right now it's not going to take any arguments, but I think we're going to change that in a little bit with the YAML stuff. So I'm going to return title as site title. And then down here, let's do context equals generate context context.update content to be content. And then inside here, we'll just render this with context. All right. And yeah, I don't need Jinja.template. Okay, so Python generate.py. If I refresh this, it now says hello treehouse right here. Hopefully you can all see that one. So we got that in. So that's cool. Bootstrap, I don't need anymore. Directory listing, I don't need anymore. PyYAML, I might need. That I don't need. That I don't think I need for right now, but we'll see. Pelican, I don't need. Jinja 2, I will probably need. Okay. So I want to see about being able to take this file, parse it as YAML, and send at least part of it back as like context. So let's handle that. But I think before I do that, I'm going to do generate HTML just for a single. How do I want to do this? Let's handle the YAML parsing first, and then we'll break up generate HTML so that we send in the bits and pieces we need to actually generate the HTML instead of sending in the whole entire file. Okay, so def parse post, and let's take a post to parse. And PyYAML.org, the home of various YAML implementations. That's like so handy. PyYAML documentation. There we go. That looks better, I guess. Maybe. Wow, that's so weird. Load down. Wow, those docs are horrible. Okay, but let's give this a try. Template can be outside of for loop, so you're not loading at every iteration. Yeah, you're totally right, Lewis. That can definitely be done. I will probably move that up to the top. Pip install PyYAML. All right. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and move that template part so that we're not doing that all the time. I'm just going to do that up here, actually. And I'm going to change that back to post template because I think we're going to want to be able to set up multiple templates. So instead of template here, we want post template. Yeah. And yeah, I know you've got unexpected block. Let's just do a pass there and be done with it. Okay, so PyYAML is installed. Let me update my post so that it has, oh, not that one. Hello.md. There we go. So that it has the data in it. So let's add a thing up here where we'll say title is hello world. Sorry, I got to turn pencil off again. Pencil is a pretty cool set of tools for Vim for writers. So since I do a lot of writing, I find it pretty handy to have that. So yeah, so let's see. We'll do a title there. We'll do an author. We'll do a date, which is 2016-11-4. And let's do a category. And let's see if we can parse that and bring in the information. So I'm actually going to try and do that just in the shell and just see what I can do. So let's just do content equals with open content slash hello world.md as f content equals f.read. And if I look at content, there's content. Okay, cool. Import YAML. And let's see what we get if we just get YAML.dump YAML.load document. Or not document, content. Okay. So that failed because it expected to find a key and didn't find one right before that. So that's cool. And Otherwise, it will have the flow style. If you want collections to always be serialized in the block style, okay. I don't really know much about that, but that's fine. Several documents. Python objects. YAML.dump streams. I basically just want to find out how to let it ignore stuff. May need front matter. Yeah, I was thinking it might. I don't remember if you have to have the front matter or not. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in here. All right, here we go. As the collection 0 more documents, an image stream contains documents are separated with triple dashes. May optionally end with triple ellipses. Single document may or may not be marked with that. So that's an implicit document. That's an explicit document. Several documents in a stream. Plot sequences, plot sequence next. Not necessarily start a nested sequence with a new line. Block mappings, flow collections. Okay, so let's try it with the front matter. So we would just do like triple lines there. And YAML dot, what was it that I ran? YAML dot dump, YAML dot load, open content slash hello world dot md. Composer error. Expected a single document in the stream, but found another document, right? Okay. So there was the thing about dumping multiple documents. And what was that? That was dump all? Load all. Okay. YAML.load all open content slash hello world.md. Aha. Print D for, not even print. Let's just do this. D for D in YAML.load all open content hello world.md. Hello world. Yeah, no, that's true. That's not in there. And so we get this, we've got a list, and the first item here we have a dictionary, and the second item we have content. So cool, thank you, Lewis. That worked. So that's going to be my way of doing this. So let's hop back over here to generate, and up here we need to import YAML, and then here let's do. Well, actually, we're going to continue to call that file. So we want to do with open file. Actually, we probably want to do os.path.join content.dir file as f. So we're going to open up that file. And then we are going to read that file, but let's just say what I want to call this, attributes, comma, content equals YAML.load all. Hopefully this will work. I think this will work. .load all f.read 0. Print attributes content. Let's try that. So then instead of, let's do posts equals get all posts. Go back to doing this again. For post in posts, print, or let's just do parse post. Undefined named attributes. Yeah, I misspelled that one too. There we go. Okay, so get out of this. Run the generate.py again. Generated object is not subscriptable. Yep, that's true. So we'll turn that into a list. And then we'll do that. Too many values to unpack, expected 2. Let's just print list yaml.load all f.read. Okay, so that gave me a list with 2 items in it. Okay. So that ends the load all. That ends the list. That gets 0. Oh, okay. I need to just not worry about the 0. Okay. So there we go. So we've got attributes. Let's put in a couple of new lines there. There we go. Okay, cool. So we've got our front matter here. We've got our attributes and stuff. And then we've got a couple blank lines. And then we've got our post. So, cool. I noticed that I don't have my headline in there. I didn't have the hello world. So that's kind of funny. I wonder why that's not in there. Oh, I wonder, is a hashtag a comment in YAML? Comments begin with that sign. Okay. That's fun. Pass the handle to F to save the width block, I think. Pass the handle to F to save the width block. Oh, yeah, I could totally... Sorry, Lewis. Yeah, I could totally handle just sending in the os.path.join content dir file to the yaml.loadall. Optimization comes later. And then Bara asked about religion, which isn't something we should probably bring up on a stream like this. So I'm going to just ignore that one. Sorry, I see it, but not answering that. What I want to figure out is why my how can I handle that for the blog post? Because that's a little weird that I can't bring that in. It kind of makes me want to go look at Pelican's documentation, but I don't want to look at Pelican's documentation because that's just horrible. Okay, so then that makes that... What if I have it as 2 hashes? Nope. Doesn't change it. Okay. So that's cool. Dump all except the list or generator. Blah blah. Explicit start. I wonder what explicit start does. Oh, I see. So that's dump all. I want load all though. Construct arbitrary. Oh yeah, I don't like that idea. Don't just load and parse files, y'all. That's a bad idea. Or Python objects, sorry. Block mappings, flow collections, scalars, aliases, tags. I'm not worried about tags. String conversion names and modules. Blah blah blah. We can do marks. I don't think that's going to tell me what I want. Tokens. Document start token. Is there anything in here for getting rid of comments? Doesn't look like it. That's too bad. Because that'd be fun. Okay, so we're just going to... I could just say that we don't have any headlines. That's not very fun. Although it is Markdown. You could just write HTML in there and just be done with it. C ones, that would be good. Start mappings, dumper. All right, I'm going to just not worry about this for now. So since this is HTML, or since this is Markdown and we can do HTML in there, I'm just going to do like that. And we will see what happens with this, because there's a really good chance that's going to act weird. But that's fine. We'll get to that. Okay, so let's clean this up just a little bit. I'll do as Lewis suggested, and I'll just do open os.path.join content dir file. And that way that's a little bit more readable, just slightly cleaner. Looks a little bit nicer. Okay, and then I'm going to return attributes and content. I'm just going to return those as a tuple. Yeah, we'll return those as a tuple. And then, wow, my terminal is just being weird today. Sorry, generate context. Okay, so then I wanted to do attributes here. And this is going to be attributes title or site title. Let's break this to a new line. And we'll do date is attributes date, which import date time. datetime dot datetime dot strftime. Which I think on strftime I have to give it a format string, right? It's been so long since I've done the datetime stuff. So yeah, so I have to give it one. So so let's do this. Date format equals %y dash %m. It's lowercase m, right? Month as abbreviated name. No, month as 0 padded number is lowercase m. And then D is the day. Day of the month as a 0 padded number. Okay. So that means I need to change my day here to be that. And we can actually do this as date.strftime instead of anything else. Okay, so that gives us a title, that gives us a date. Let's do author is attributes author or none. Actually, let's just do this. Get title site title. If y'all don't know about it, you can use get on a dictionary to look for a key. If that key doesn't exist, it will automatically return none, assuming you use .get. But if you pass it a second value, it'll use that value instead. So here I'll just do .get and change those to parentheses, and then I'll go ahead and get the none that I was expecting. And category, we'll do the same thing. And that'll come out as category or none. Okay, so there's our context. So what I want to do here is I want to do context and post. And for content is going to equal misaka.html of content. So we're going to take all of that out, bring this back, and actually no, let's just do it this way. Okay, so then here, parse post, this is going to give us attributes and content, and then we'll do content equals misaka.html of the content that already came out. Context equals generate context, which this isn't really something private, so I'll just leave it like that, of attributes. I don't need that anymore. I don't need that anymore. Wait, I do need that. Content is going to be equal to the post that comes in. And context, right? So that, right? And then we're going to do generate HTML with the context and the content. define name file. Oh, that's true. So let's do file name is that. And so that sends in the file name. That's the, okay. So rm-rf output, generate.py, and we got a problem. Okay, so that's cool. Line 40. All right. Man, this thing is just rendering horribly today. Okay, so no errors. So now if I come back over here and I refresh this one, I've got hello world instead of hello treehouse. So that changed, right? Hello world came through there, and then there's the blog post. Now what's weird is that only came out as 1p instead of as 2p's, because if I look at hello world, it is very definitely 2 paragraphs. So something in my YAML did not do what it's supposed to. So print content. So those got turned into single lines instead of double lines. So what I need to try to do, and Lewis suggested this a while ago, is to like not parse that second document as YAML. So be cool if I could figure out how to do that. So mark. I'm wondering if it's these marks, like these tokens. Because you could use them to potentially mark the beginning and end of a document. So let's add in a new thing here. Let's comment all of this out. And then what I want to do is I want to do a thing. Lewis says that he worked it out. So if you want to post the code, Lewis, I'd love to take a look at it. Split on that with a limit of 1. Yeah, that would work. That might be easier than going through the YAML thing. So let's try that. And let's just do this. So I'll do with, we're back to this, os.path.join content-dir file as f, YAML header, comma, content, let's see, whole file equals f.read. So then we'll go ahead and close the file. So then we'll do whole file dot split on 1, 2, 3. And what is it for split? Not byte array dot split, string dot split, max split. Okay. max split equals 1. So it can do that once. So then we could do attributes equals YAML.dump for YAML header. Okay, let's see what this does. So print attributes, print content. str object has no attribute get. Let's do it here. Print attributes. Just see what that came up with. Attributes is a string. Oh, because it's not dump, it's load. Oh, silly me. There we go. Okay. So, delete all that. So now, clear rm-rf output again, Python generate.py again. And if I come over here and I refresh this, now I have paragraphs, I have that, and the cool thing is I should now be able to go back to this being actual markdown and still get the same output. Yep, still getting my output. All right, thank you, Lewis. That was a really great suggestion. I like to think I would have thought of that, but I don't know that I would have. Because sometimes it's these really obvious things that you're just like, yeah, that'll work, that'll be great. There's no problem there, yeah. It's wonderful, let's just keep doing that. Okay, cool. So, it parses files, generates stuff. Let's try generating a index.html that has all of the files in it with a link to each of them. Because I think that's important, right? Like, we should be able to go to here and see a list of all the posts. So let's try doing that. So I think I'm actually going to add a new thing, theme init.py, and inside here, so we're going to turn theme into a package, and so inside here we're going to do post template, and this just lists the template name, right? So post.html, index template is going to be index.html, and so that's just basic stuff there. So let's go back over here to the generate document, and instead of themedir equals that, let's say like theme module equals theme, and then no, hold on, I don't want to do that. The reason I was thinking about doing this is I'm trying to get around having configuration inside the generator for where the theme stuff is, but I think for right now it's just not worth the trouble. So I'm not going to worry about that, and I'm just going to get rid of that buffer, and I'm going to delete that file. Okay. So theme module I'm going to leave alone. Post template I'm going to leave alone. I'm going to add a new one here, which is index template is env.getTemplate index.html. Now, I should probably have something that specifies all of this stuff, but whatever, it's fine. I suppose I could do like from theme import env, and inside of there is where I've handled all of that stuff. Maybe we'll solve that in a little bit. So let's add a new method, generate index, and that'll take files. So we'll just have a list of file names. And yeah, so this may be a little ugly, but we can clean it up later. So file names we've already got. So let's do titles is an empty list. Let's make this a little bit handier here. And let's just say with content equals true. If with content, otherwise we're just going to return attributes. Actually, I like having this the other way around. So if not with content, return attributes. So that way I can just return back the attributes. So inside here, I want to do titles is going to be equal to parse post file with content equals false. Dot get title. For file and files, print titles. Let's make sure that works. I am not calling that anywhere. So before we do all the posts, let's do generate index posts. Themedir is not defined. Oh, because I called it theme module. Themedir. I keep typing theme dire. Things are dire. Template not found index.html. Oh yeah, I don't think I theme index.html extends layout.html block title is equal to site title. Block content is going to be like h1 welcome to my site. Recent posts. Actually, let's change that to an h2. And then we'll just do posts. Although, actually, I don't even need to override that. Okay. So back to generate.py. Okay, so our one title is Hello World, which is true. That is our one title. So let's... All right, so now we've got those titles. And generate HTML. We should really just be taking context. We shouldn't be updating that. And so that means down here, context equals that, context.update content. And so then in here, we have our titles, and we need to context. I don't want to update the context at all. So I'm just going to do context equals generate context with nothing being passed in. I'll pass it an empty dictionary. And then context.update. And what did we call that over there in index? Posts. All right. Context.update posts is equal to titles for now. And then we will do generate HTML. And the file name is index.md. And the context is the context. So generate HTML expects a particular template. Template equals post template. Template. Okay. And here I will do index template. All right, let's see if that works. Key error date. Yeah, we don't have a date on that. So let's not do that one. And then let's do try context.update except key error pass return context. Since we may not have a date there. 225, or no, 64. Okay. Let's try that again. Hey, no complaints. And if I refresh this, I should have index.html. Check that out. Awesome. So there is a recent post. We have hello world. So that's great. Hi, Maureen. Glad you could join us. And okay, so I've got that. So now I need to make it to where it sends back like a list of titles and URLs. So titles will be that, and we'll say title is that thing. Right? And URL is file.html. Okay. So now, if we generate that and we refresh that, Then we've got .md. That's funny. So let's make a new helper function up here, and this one I will call with an underscore, which is convert file name, and it'll take a file name, and we'll return file ext os.path.split ext file name, convert file name target equals .html. So return string format file and target. So just in case I need to do that in some sort of new way, then I will. Which means that here I need to do new file name equals convert file name, and that's just going to take file name. So I don't need that anymore. Cool. And then for index, URL is just going to be convert file name for file. Pretty sure that'll work. Title is hello world, URL is hello world.html. Cool, that did work. Okay, so now let's go update that index.html, and we'll do like a UL, and then for post and posts, li ahref equals post.url, post.title, in that for, close that UL, regenerate this because that's how that works. And then we've got hello world, click that, and we get the hello world. So that's pretty awesome. All right. I should have been committing this, so I'm going to do a new one here. YAML parsing, index generation, and stuff. All right. All right, so this is actually in pretty good shape, I think. I mean, we've got a pretty basic thing where we can go back and forth like that. Something I kind of would like to add into this is maybe doing some of this configuration somewhere else. So that's not what I meant to do. Vim generate.py. There we go. So I think now I want to bring in that theme init.py, and inside here I'm going to do the Jinja 2 stuff. So from Jinja 2 import environment file system loader, and I'm also going to do the import OS because I need to get the current directory. So let's make a new thing here, which is env equals environment loader equals file system loader os dot get cwd, and then let's do post template equals env.get template post.html, and index template env.get template index.html, and I'm going to swap those two because that makes more sense to me. And then what I'm going to do is over here, I'll do from theme import the post template and index template. Okay, so now I don't need these anymore. And that Jinja stuff is imported but not used. And where do I use themeder other than here? Anywhere? Nowhere. So I don't need themeder either. So that should be easier. Okay. So let's make sure that the generate works still. Let's get rid of output again. Template not found. Huh. How are you not finding that? Oh, I think because that init.py doesn't get used. Okay, so let's just do import theme. And then anywhere that I use template, let's do theme dot. That's it? Okay. Huh. Still template not found. Okay. Let's print env. Let's see what's going on in there. Okay. So we have that object. Let's do import pdb pdb.setTrace. Because that's more fun anyway. There we go. Okay. Dir env. Env dot... What am I looking for here? Dot loader? Okay, dir env dot loader. Env dot loader dot list templates. Env dot loader dot list templates as a function call. That sure is looking a lot of places. Man, what is up with Jinja 2 looking everywhere? We've got get objects, we've got content, theme index. Okay, so what if I redo this? And it's like os.path.join, os.get current working directory, and theme. And then env get template index.html. Okay, so current working directory. I'm guessing that's the directory where it's being run from. So that's cool. I can do that. So we'll do this, os.path.join, the current working directory, plus theme. Actually, I don't think I need that. I think I can just do theme. Okay. Cool. And output looks like it's still good. And if I refresh this, still has that. But it can't find the file hello world.html. Why did that only generate... Okay, so let's close this. So let's set that as none. If template is none, template equals theme.postTemplate. Huh. So we do parse post, which returns that. Titles does all that, and it finds all the titles. We know that because we have hello world. So we do that. Post context content. Oh. My generate HTML changed. I don't need to send the content in anymore because I sent it in as part of the context. So now, huh. So file name comes in. It only gets the index one. That really shouldn't matter, but oh, it's because get all posts is a generator. So we need to reset that. Generator. Can I seek a generator? No, once you parse a generator, it's done. Right? Yeah. So we can call them next. So if I want to save that, what I've got to do is I've got to... Okay, so I got to turn that into a list here. Which is kind of horrible that I have to do that. There we go. And if I look at output, now I've got both of them. Okay. So... Alright. That's kind of horrible to have to do that. Honestly, I would rather... Well, I don't have a lot of time left, so I'll figure out how to make that nicer another time. But now, if I was to click this, there's the post, so that works. So, cool. All right. So, theme is more self-contained. Okay. So, I've got about 10 minutes left. And I don't have something I think I can do to this in the next 10 minutes. So let's spend this last 10 minutes or so open for questions. So if you've got any questions at all, feel free to post them in the chat on Beam, Twitch, or YouTube, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. We got 10 minutes, so we should be able to get through, I don't know, 5 or 10 questions. And Marine asked, what did you set that current working directory? Are you talking about in the theme? So, hold on, my screen looks horrible there. So what we've done here is we've set the loader to still be looking at theme, because the loader is looking from where we're currently running the thing, and since generate.py lives in the directory outside of the theme, that's where it starts looking from. So that's why we set the file system loader to look inside of theme. That's the directory we want it to look at. And so then we set the templates like normal there. And then here, I don't really like this, which I think this is your second question there, Marine, which is about storing a generated value. Get all posts is a generator. Where is it? Here it is. So get all posts yields a generator. And so ideally you don't want, like, the point of a generator is it just goes through like one item at a time, so you're not using up a ton of memory. And I'm having to store it here. I'm having to parse the whole thing and store it in the list. Oh, sorry, you were just trying to help? Well, thank you for trying to help. Thankfully, I got it figured out, apparently. But yeah, so this is a ridiculously simple static site generator. I mean, this will work. You can totally upload that output directory to GitHub Pages or whatever and use that as your blog. Like, that's cool. Go for that. But this is ridiculously simplistic. It needs a whole lot more stuff. Ideally, there would be stuff in here that would handle, like, setting content expiration, setting other headers, which, you can handle all of that. Ideally, we'd have stuff where we could have both pages and, like, blog posts. The blog post would probably generate an RSS feed, or you could make it, like, post to Twitter every time that you did a blog post or whatever. But, yeah. So we don't have to do that. And we don't have time to do all that, so I'm not going to worry about it for right now. All right, so I thank you all for watching, for helping out in the chat. Lewis and Marine and several others of you were ginormous helps, so thank you so much for helping me get through this thing. It's a little weird trying to build something off the top of your head without doing any exploration. I do my best not to do any sort of research before I do the live streams. Which is not at all how I suggest that you program. I suggest that you do research and you learn as much as you can before you start programming. But I like doing it this way so that y'all can see just the struggles that people get to go through, even when they've been doing this for years. I mean, I've been building web stuff for 20 years. And still, like, problems like this all the time. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to do this again next week. Same time, same Treehouse channel, same Treehouse time. So 10 a.m. Pacific time. Next week, though, the U.S. will be in daylight, or will be out of daylight savings time. So it'll be PST and not PDT. So it'll be an hour different, depending on whether or not your part of the world observes daylight savings time at the same time that we do. Time zones are horrible. But I think next week I'm going to build a bot for the Discord platform. Discord is a pretty cool platform for doing voice and text chat. It's used by a lot of gamers instead of something like TeamSpeak. So it's pretty cool. Discord has a lot of things that you can do with bots, so I'm going to play around with that next week. That's also as part of Nabo... What is it? NaNoWriMo, but for bots. There's a thing called NaNoWriMo that is for bots. And the idea is to build a bot at some point inside the month of November, which I want to do. I like building bots, and it's great that this is a thing that works. Eddie Lewis, thank you for the kind words. Lewis, it's a little bit early for that, so I think I'm gonna have to wait, but I will take you up on that. And then Anurag M asks, "What's my opinion on Django?" I love Django. I've been writing Django for 7-8 years now, and Django is awesome. Django does a huge amount of stuff. Saves you a ton of time as a programmer, so long as you kind of work along with it. Like any framework, if you try to fight it, it will give you nothing but problems. The same is true for Flask, for Rails, for Zend, for any other framework out there. If you don't play along with the framework, you will suffer. So long as you work along with the framework, Django is amazing and awesome. And I think that's what I'm going to do the week after next. So this week was static site generator. Next week, I'm planning to do the Discord bot. The week after that, I think I'm going to build a website in Django for a new thing that we're wanting people to play along with at Treehouse that I can't say too much about. It's not out yet. We've had this thing for a while about how you can learn to program. You can teach yourself to program by spending 15 minutes a day doing programming. So I'm going to build a site where you can set up an account and you can come on the site and be like, hey, I'm going to spend 15 minutes a day learning Python, learning PHP, learning Scala, whatever you want to learn, learning to play the guitar, whatever. And every day you can come to the site and click a button and say, yep, I did my thing, and the site will congratulate you or whatever. And we'll have a streak calendar kind of thing, right? So it'll be like, hey, you did every day this month. That's awesome. You should go do more stuff. So that's my plans for the next couple of weeks. Eddie has asked, Eddie04TV, I've been doing a site for a few years. How can I refresh them and get a tech job on web dev? So, I mean, refreshing a site for nowadays, for modern times, which is so weird because basically that means anything not in the last, 6 months, right? 3 months. A lot of that is about doing like JavaScript stuff. So if you learn React, if you learn Angular 2, if you learn these JavaScript things, that can give a lot of freshness to sites. Same for, having a nice design, some nice CSS. But at the same time, how many people still use Craigslist? And Craigslist hasn't changed much in probably 8 years, 10 years, right? And as for getting a tech job on web development, I mean, a lot of that's just reaching out and trying different places. You got to kind of just look for the jobs. I try to retweet all the job postings or people seeking jobs that I get on Twitter, like if it comes up in my stream or somebody mentions me on it. And there's tons of places that you can go. There's tons of job boards out there. If you're looking specifically for Python or Django, there's one that I want to say is djangojobs.com.org, something like that. I don't remember. That they just post Django stuff. So it's worth checking out. I've heard that hired.com is pretty good as well. But I don't know. Sadly, I haven't been looking for traditional tech jobs in a long time, so I can't give you exact places. Thanks, Gabriel, for the kind words. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. And Eddie asks again what they should know or learn for next week's stream on Discord bot. Have a Discord account. If this goes well, I'll open up the Discord channel, the Discord server for everybody to join, and they can hop on and play with the bot, help me with the bot. But yeah, all you should have is a Discord account. That's all I'm going to know. So we'll see how this goes. I know there's a library or two out there for doing Discord stuff with Python. So I'm going to get one of those, and we are going to see what we can make the bot do. If you have an idea for the bot, tweet that at me. I'm Kenneth Love on Twitter, all one word. Tweet me your ideas for what the bot can do, for what the Discord bot can do. And Ken posted that it's djangojobs.net. Thank you, Ken. Djangojobs.net might be a good place to look for if you're particularly interested in doing Python and Django jobs. But it's 12 o'clock, so I need to wrap this stream up. I'll answer one more question here. Abdulga? Abdul-Ga? Sorry, on whatever your name is. I'm not sure. Do you Treehouse? Should I do it? I'm a bit nervous about it. So, I mean, Treehouse goes really well with college, I think. College often is a bit more theory, a bit more theoretical. It's a bit more the reasons behind things, right? Like you learn optimizing algorithms, or you learn, assuming you're doing CS. If you're doing something else, you'll learn whatever that other thing is. If you're doing, history or geology or something. If you're doing CS, though, computer science as a degree is a lot more about the behind workings, how things work underneath. And it's really not about programming. It's not the problem-solving part of programming. It's the optimization part of problem-solving. So I have this problem. I have a solution for it. How do I make that solution as good as possible? That's where CS really comes in. Programming is more of, I have this problem. How do I solve it? And you get it solved. So I think they go really well together. I think they go hand in hand very, very well. So doing Treehouse while you're in college, I think, is a great idea. And you don't have to go and do like a tech degree at Treehouse. You could do the standard basic account that's $25 a month. Learn whatever languages you find interesting, and I think that'll help out a whole lot. So I don't think you should be nervous about doing Treehouse while you're doing college. I think they go together really, really well. Speaking of that, though, check out Treehouse if you haven't in the past. It's teamtreehouse.com. We teach Python, PHP, Ruby, Java, .NET, Android, iOS, all sorts of other things, JavaScript, so much JavaScript. So if you have programming that you want to learn how to do, check us out. We're more than happy to teach you how to do it. And if you enjoyed watching my streams, I'm the Python teacher, so you can watch Python stuff and you get to see so much of me. You'll be sick and tired of me by the end of it, but hopefully you'll learn a lot. So, all right, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see as many of you as possible next week. Thanks a lot.